Well, as we tape today's episode, it's right before Valentine's Day. And so, in honor of Valentine's weekend, we're actually going to look at the 5 love languages. You may know it from the popular book by Gary Chapman, where he explores those 5 love languages. Let's see if we can remember them: acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, gifts, and physical touch. We're going to see what those have to do with planning for retirement on today's show. You'll be surprised by some of the connections that we make here. So let's get to it. Coming up next, I'll grab Scott and we'll get started. Walter Strohholt back with you here on Your Retirement Elevated alongside financial advisor Scott Dugan. And on the podcast today, we're talking about love, Scott. We've got, you changed your lights to have a little red in the background. I've got a little red going on. So.
Absolutely good. Got to be festive. You got your background in there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this will be fun. The love languages. Are you willing to share on the show what your love language is in the non-financial world?
Going through those gifts and acts of service.
Okay,
hands down.
Yeah. Do you get as much joy of like the receiving of the gifts, or is it more of the gift giving that you
giving for sure? Yeah. The vocal part, I definitely need to work on. And like my wife, Jennifer, is a hugger.
Okay.
And so she's definitely got the physical part down.
Yeah.
So I've become better at that.
Nice.
But definitely gifts and acts of service are my two. And so, I know we're kind of joking around about it. I can tell you if picking this book up and just understanding not only how you operate, but how other people operate, actually can be very, very helpful.
It is. All joking aside, it can be helpful in any relationship. It doesn't have to be even a romantic one, right? I think just understanding how people tick in different ways like that at a very basic level, just breaking it down to these 5 things is kind of fun to explore a little bit. It's funny. I'm a lot like your wife. So I'm a little bit more obviously the words side, right? No surprise there, but also the physical touch. And my wife is more like you. She's big on the gift giving and acts of service. And I used to kind of push back on her gift giving so much, like, you're overdoing it. Oh, it's too much. Stop. Why are you always showering people with gifts? Like, but then learned that's her love. Like, that's just how she loves doing it. And that's how she expresses it. And so let her do it. And learning that was like a good thing for sure.
Oh yeah. Because if we can get to know what people need and desire, if we can provide that to them, and sometimes you have to be conscious about it. So first you've got to understand, it's like, okay, there actually are love languages. And then it's, well, how do I fit into that? Well, then how do the people that are close to me, how do they operate? And so I think anytime we can learn about human psychology, how humans interact, we'll be much better off for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's start translating these to retirement advice and financial planning metaphors here. So we'll take them in order that we gave them out at the start. What about acts of service? Where do you see that popping up more in a retirement planning space?
I think if you're pre-retirement, if someone has gone to the same job for 35 years, for example, and they work diligently so they could put their kids through school, or if it was important for their spouse to be able to not have to be in the workforce to take care of kids, depending on the situation. And so a lot of the times that act of service, you're in service of your employer, your team, but ultimately you're hopefully getting financially rewarded, which is an act of service because you're giving to your loved ones. And so I think, thinking about my father and even my grandfather was in the Navy for over 20 years. And I believe what he said is he was out to sea for 11 of those years. Okay. So he was in service to his country. He was in service to his shipmates because he was in the Navy, but ultimately he was doing that to take care of his wife and his 3 kids. And then looking at my dad, he was military and then he worked in the nuclear power industry. And there was weeks on end where he'd work 7 12-hour days and drive, and almost an hour, 45 minutes each way after that. So that's in service. So that's probably where I like acts of service. I like gifting things. But again, a lot of our clients are that way, hardworking, and a lot of our clients both husband and wife worked, to make everything. So again, I think, acts of service are important. And retirement, what you're doing is hopefully you're getting rewarded along the way when you're retiring. You're saving that money. You're building up this nest egg. And so that money can take care of you financially. You can derive a paycheck from it. And then your acts of service may be coming in the community.
Yeah.
Taking care of your grandkids. I can tell you, our clients they should be Uber drivers for their grandkids, driving to all these activities, post-school activities. Us as a company, our active service, we're a big supporter of harvesters. Into this month, we're doing backpack for kids, and our clients come together. It's fantastic. They donate their time, and we pack backpacks for kids in the community to where some of these children on Friday, when those backpacks are handed out, that is their food until they get back to school on Monday.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about acts of service, we're fortunate our clients have resources. They're able to support themselves, but they're also able to give back to the community and continue those acts of services well into retirement.
Yeah, I've seen my parents who recently made the transition into retirement, and as they're getting further into it now, watching them do these kinds of acts of service and volunteering with local organizations. And Dad drives the truck for the local organization that serves islands off the coast of where they live. So he gets to get on the ferries with the bread van and take it over with other supplies and materials, and just loves doing it and serving in that way. And but also on the familial side, they're helping my grandparents, my dad's folks, transport up and down to go visit family further down the coast. And they're kind of doing that Uber driver role, but getting quality and time with them and spending time with them that they didn't get to over the last 30 years. And so
absolutely
neat to see that. Dovetails nicely into that next one, which of course is quality time, another love language. And yeah, I'll just continue with that. My parents, for example, they're getting all that quality time now with my grandparents and trying to pack as much of that in as they can. And it became really important to them to make sure that was part of their retirement plan.
Yes. And I think it's, for a lot of our clients, they spend quality time a lot of times with their grandkids.
Yeah.
If their kids are both working. So again, it goes to, are they babysitting? Are they chauffeuring? Are they just, being able to participate and attend sporting events or, auditions or things like that? So again, it doesn't mean that you got to spend a ton of money, but for a lot of people, just the idea of spending time and just being in their presence, that is fantastic. And there's people that they really gravitate towards that. And again, it's just being together, being in the same place. That for a lot of people is very satisfying.
You so often say on this show, like, yeah, the financial component is important, but so much of retirement in this discussion and how you help people is from that psychological basis or from a different, more personal angle. And we're seeing that pop up here a lot. I'm interested to see what connections you make, though, with the next one, and that's words of affirmation. So how are you going to spin that one into some financial advice?
Well, I think from a lot of times what may hold someone back from coming in to see an advisor is they may have created this scenario in their mind that they're not prepared. And going to see a professional may confirm that. So they're concerned. And it's usually, I'll pick on men for right now. We don't like to be, I guess, wrong, or we don't want someone to know if we've done a bad job.
You couldn't even say it.
I know. It's hard to do. Not that I've ever done that. They're accused of it.
Wrong.
But it is.
Sorry.
But again, when we're sitting down for a discovery session for the first time, it really is looking at, hey, where are you? What is the reality? Again, we can't change anything up to that point. So there's no reason to be derogatory or to be, condemning of someone's situation. It's just, hey, let's find out, where are we? Where do we want to go? And is it feasible? Is it possible? And so a lot of our clients or prospective families come in and some are just, they're concerned. It's like, hey, I'm very concerned. I'm nervous. Am I going to be okay? And those words of affirmation that you're going to be okay, you're going to get through this, your money's going to last, you're going to be fine. They need that. They need those words of affirmation. And some people are confused. Okay. They're confused and they just need to help with direction. They need to untangle some things. They need someone to bring things into focus. But again, it's the words of affirmation because that's what we're giving them. We're giving our professional opinion because I've been doing this for almost 25 years. There's not a lot that I haven't seen. And I'm surrounded by a fantastic team of people that have put in the reps and have done that as well. So again, we got people that are concerned, people that are confused that are there. And there's a third type of person that really they want confirmation. They want to hear words of affirmation that they're doing okay.
Yeah.
Now, if that's you, that's a do-it-yourselfer. And I can say that because I'm one, and we actually have quite a few clients that are or were do-it-yourselfers. And they wanted confirmation that they were on the right track. And more importantly, most of the time, they want their significant other to hear from someone else that they are doing the right thing. But I will tell you, all three of those categories usually understand that they need a person to strategically delegate to, or a team of people. So if you're, again, concerned, confused, or just want, confirmation, they understand that having a team of people surrounding them is way better than having one person responsible for everything. And so again, those words of affirmation, I do not do the greatest job of that. And a perfect example of this, I will tell a little little story about me. Jennifer, my wife, is big on words of affirmation. She likes hugging, physical.
Yep.
And she likes words of affirmation. And when I was discovering this, we're talking through it. She goes, you're just not very vocal. And I said, well, when we got married, I went through my vows. I confessed my undying love to you, and that has not changed. So until that changes, do I really need to remind you of it?
Do you need further explanation?
You need further explanation. It's like, whack. I wasn't kidding, but that's how I operate, because I do acts of, I care and I like gift, but I also understand that she operates a little differently. So there's my little long-winded words of affirmation explanation.
Is your retirement journey truly tailored to your needs? In his book, Exceptional Retirement: Tools and Strategies for Retiring on Your Own Terms, Scott Dugan addresses the crucial questions all retirees ask. Discover the power of a clear financial decision-making process that can prevent major retirement mistakes and unlock exceptional opportunities. In the book, Scott outlines 4 essential questions that guide retirees toward successful outcomes. Don't miss out on key insights that could define your future. Available now on Amazon. Click the link in the description of this episode to get your copy of Exceptional Retirement.
I think it's great though. And I can easily see replacing affirmation with permission, right? Some people just need permission to retire, permission to spend, permission to do X, Y, and Z. Fits right into this category. I know you see that all the time, and it's so simple. And so that's great that you're able to provide that. And often people find out they're in a better spot than they thought they were. So
absolutely.
Well, I know that gifts are 4th of the 5 love languages here. I know that this is a big one for folks in retirement, and it kind of embodies some of the other things, right? Because you can gift as part of an act of service. It's you can gift quality time in a way. So this one kind of rolls in several different things. Definitely a financial component to this one. Where do you see this pop up a lot?
Sure. So once we go through our process and we determine, hey, what do we need to allocate for essential and discretionary expenses to live your life? And then if it's important to layer on gifts for, maybe you want to do, education funding. Maybe it's that you want to take your family on vacations to have experiences along the way, rather than, waiting till the end to give a pot of money. So being able to gift to, your significant others, gift to a charity, an organization. So that's extremely important to be able to do that. And it could be gifting of dollars. And like you said, it could be gifting of time. Depending on your financial situation, gifting money may be easy as writing a check. You also may be able to gift your time and volunteer. And that could be very rewarding, not only for you to be able to provide, to an organization that you care about, but also you're on the front lines impacting the people that organization works with. And so again, gifting to me is, I like to listen. And if someone expresses something that they enjoy or like, then I somehow try to maybe provide that at some point, or surprise people with those things. But again, you're correct. Time, acts of service, affirmation, those are all gifts and don't have to be just financial.
Yeah, it's been fun to see. Like my grandparents have been very giving in their retirement, and so much to the point where their kids had to start being like, "Stop! It's too much." And but that's a wonderful argument to have, right? Like, what a great position to be in, to be so giving and to have the financial ability to do so, and then to have kids that are, not trying to take advantage of that too, and be like,
yes.
Go, you guys should go do that thing.
And I think to your point, Walter, having a solid plan lets you gift confidently. If you don't know where your money's coming from, if you don't have a good idea of how long it's going to last, if you don't know how you're going to handle a curveball that life throws at you in retirement, it can be very difficult to gift, to let go of hard-earned dollars. And so again, I think that's where the foundation of a very well-designed plan comes into play, because we can look at it. Hey, yes, you can give confidently. You can give to charities. You can do these things. Let's do it in the most efficient way possible. That's going to be the key to make the biggest impact.
Yeah, confident giving is such a powerful thing for folks, no doubt about it. All right, last but not least, we get to the physical touch, and that one, I don't know, is that one going to be a little harder to make minced meat out of here for our financial and retirement planning comparisons?
It is, but I can tell you that it really applies, even though in today's world, we got a lot of, everybody's watching this, obviously on their phone or on TV. I believe that in person is being physically in the same room is probably the most impactful way to communicate with someone.
Yeah.
I think the second best that's why we invest in high quality recording and video and all these things. It's because we want to make that as impactful as possible, like we were there. And so that physical where, if it's shaking hands, giving a hug, whatever it may be, but sometimes it's just knowing that someone is there, that they're there in your corner, they're beside you, whether literally or figuratively, to guide you through the process. Like I said before, there's just not a lot that I have not seen in my career. Most of the time, if something comes up, whether it's positive or a challenge or whatever it may be, I probably have encountered that in some way, some form or fashion, especially a lot of the advisors that work with us, same way. They've just been around for a while. So I think this physical part, it's just that touch point of someone that you can meet with, whether, again, it's digitally or in person, just to make sure. And hey, sometimes you need to hear it's going to be okay. Sometimes you just need to hear, hey, it's okay to celebrate. It's okay to do this. So we want to be there to celebrate. We want to be there to console. We want to be able there to encourage. And however we can do that, either digitally or in person, that's what we're here to do, along with really solid planning.
Yeah, without an advisor, you're not getting the touch or that touch point, even if it's a digital physical touch. You're just not getting that relationship. It also means you're not getting those words of affirmation. So those may be some of the things that you benefit from meeting with an advisor and going through that proper planning process. And then the plan, as we just talked about, unlocks those other 3 love languages that we've talked about on the episode today. So you can see the benefit of both of those things, having that trusted advisor on your side, but also having the plan in place. It's going to mean that no matter what your love languages are, you're going to be able to find success and get more comfortable with your financial future in these ways. So
yes. And I can tell you, and we'll kind of wrap it up with this.
Yeah.
Very good friend of mine and a client, Mark, who watches the show. He has been an exceptional example of knowing it's okay to give words of affirmation, either verbally or in writing. And he is a hugger, and he has helped me kind of overcome some of these, my reticence to do that. So again, I think we can also, once we understand people's languages and understand ours, you can adopt some of these things and realize it's okay. These things make sense, and you can adopt some of these, even though it may be uncomfortable in the beginning. After a while, you realize we're all humans. We all need different things. And if we can be of service to people and give them more of what they want and need, I think the world's a better place if we all could pay attention and give a little more of what people need and want.
A good episode for this Valentine's weekend. So hopefully that helps folks out. No matter when you watch this, even if it's outside the Valentine's time frame, I think this is a good evergreen kind of conversation, because these love languages go on throughout the year. And so if we can be talking the same language, understanding each other better, it's always a great goal. If you want to go through the planning process with Scott and the team at Elevated Retirement Group, you can certainly do that. Very easy to get in touch. We've got contact information on the screen and in the description of today's episode. Wherever you are watching or listening, should be able to find that easily. We're always, of course, at listentoscott.com. If you happen to be watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button so that other people will be able to see this episode, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss future episodes. New shows every week. Scott, we'll talk to you again next week. Thanks so much for the help.
Looking forward to it.
All right. This has been your Retirement Elevated. We'll see you next time.
Are you on the path to retirement but feel uncertain about your direction? Don't let myths and misconceptions cloud your journey. Before stepping into a lengthy retirement, gain clarity and confidence with a complimentary financial review. Schedule a conversation with Scott Dugan. It's completely free. Just click the link in the description below or call us at 913-393-4724. Let's start a conversation about what's most important to you as you plan for a successful retirement.
This video has been prepared for educational and marketing purposes only. The information in this video is general in nature, does not constitute personalized investment advice, and does not provide a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. All investments involve risk, and different types of investments involve varying degrees of risk. There can be no assurance that any specific investment strategy will be profitable or suitable to you. Additionally, although information presented in this video is believed to be factual and up to date, we do not guarantee its accuracy. You should consult an attorney or tax professional regarding your specific legal or tax situation, and should consult a professional advisor before implementing any of the strategies mentioned in this video. Investment advisory services are offered through Elevated Capital Advisors LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC. Registration as an investment advisor does not constitute an endorsement of Elevated Capital Advisors LLC by securities regulators, nor does it indicate that the firm has attained a particular level of skill or ability. Insurance advice and products may be offered by a third-party insurance producer, which may be affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC and Elevated Capital Advisors LLC. Walter Storholt and Third Wheel Media LLC receive compensation for their assistance in preparing and hosting this video.